visit with Native peoples is that there are three distinct bodies of people in the United States that are written into the Constitution of the United States: federal, the states, and tribal governments. And the U.S. Constitution gives authority to negotiate tribes to the United States Congress. And so even when you travel into a state such as Michigan, and you go to the Saginaw Band of Chippewa up on the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and you visit with them, you're sitting on sovereign lands of a sovereign people who negotiate with the federal government and the state of Michigan as a separate and distinct government group. There is such an amassment of study of just the precepts of federal Indian law that there are actually advanced studies in Juris Doctorates in Indian law itself at 6 major universities throughout the United States. Right now, and I can't give you an idea, as a matter of fact, I had a call from one of my young mentorees, a law student from the University of Wisconsin, of which I'm an alum, and he was telling me he had just accepted a new associate professorship at the University of Wisconsin, and he was so elated to share that story with me that he was going to be able to go back, and now from his research and also his application, he was actually going to be able to go back and to teach other young Native students. In my STEM career, I want to show you that I have 30 plus years in electrical engineering. The thing that I used to do very early on, and my mom used to literally, at 14 years old, drive me down to a FM radio station, and I used to turn tables and play a jazz radio program on an FM station in Asheville, North Carolina. And I loved the fascination of that turntable spinning, the meters turning, all the lights and the gizmos, everything that was in there. And I truly, sincerely wanted to understand how every bit of it worked. And my mom, just like we talked about our parents, who encouraged us to do whatever we could, to learn as much as we could, to take every opportunity. She would drive me to that radio station every Sunday faithfully. She found an electrical engineer working at one of the local radio stations and asked him to mentor me. And I took that opportunity. And I sat down with every bated breath, every opportunity, every afternoon, every weekend I had to sit with this electrical engineer and pick up my radio telephone engineering license before I had finished my sophomore year in college, which means I can operate and work on most every broadcast type of technology in AM, FM, and television. And those licenses are required by the FCC because they're highly specialized. I also chose to serve, like you are, within institutions of higher learning, serving your community, but also to serve the general public. I work for a federal agency. Their mission is to care for the land and serve the people. And I've worked in that federal job many times, even after I got through my master's program, and looking around, headhunters calling me every day, hey, we could offer you this amount, we could do this, you could travel here, you could do that. And my Comanche friend always whispering in my ear saying, no, serve the people, care for the land. I've had a great opportunity to work then on curriculum, both in natural resources and also in technology, for tribal schools in the K-12 fields and also baccalaureate, what we call tribal colleges and universities. Indian people have become distinguished within the academic realms to actually build and develop now over 22 institutions throughout the United States. And these are in Indian communities. And there are also opportunities as you continue your advancements to take a look at it. You'll be traveling out west and you'll see the one of the tribal colleges come up, the Dene Tribal College, which is on the Navajo Nation. And here are some Indian students who are just trying to kind of piece things together and start their first couple of years in a very communal setting where all their family, everything is here, just like here in New York. You can head home when you're through at school. You can visit your family. And the same thing is needed in our tribal communities. And so that great opportunity is being advanced, and so institutions are being pushed into our communities to give those opportunities to our college students. Out to that big field past the house. And I want you to drag my body, as it's bleeding, around 7 times. And in the morning, my gift will come back. And so they prayed, They said their goodbyes, and they took her life. And they dragged her body around once, twice, 3, 4 times. But they were kids, and this body weighed a lot. And they got tired, and they stopped. And they went home, and they said, we'll get it done tomorrow. We'll take care of it tomorrow. And they went out, and she was gone. Her body had gone. But in the morning, what they found in her place was corn. But notice they didn't do what they were told. And so the way we explain to our children is that because sometimes we were told by our Creator what to do, and we did not, that now we have to work our corn 4 times to bring life into the household. In the Hopi way, when they talk about corn, the Hopi people here believe that they have arrived through 4 different worlds, and this is the 4th world that we live on. A great being who lived here on this earth and takes care of this earth today offered them a challenge and says, I want you to do things and I want you to learn things, but I've got kind of a test for you. I'm going to give you some things and let's see what you'll take to prepare for this test. Part of the test is I want you to travel to the ends of the earth, the 4 directions, as far as you can go. And the great being rolled out all of these different vegetables and different things on this big apron. And the Hopis looked around, and the other people looked around, and everyone kind of picked and chose what they wanted. But the Hopis looked and saw a little tiny ear of blue corn. And it just looked like it could easily fit in their pocket. And so they picked that up, and they put that in their pocket. They said, that's what we'll take. And the great being said, that's a very wise choice, because it will grow anywhere, under any circumstances, and it's nutritious, and it will always carry you. And still to this day, the Hopis grow blue corn in their gardens today. That's just 2 stories about this. I could take you through stories through South America. I could take you through stories all the way up into the lake states. The last one I want to share with you, and actually, Crystal, if you can help me here. How many of you have seen an eagle in the zoo? Right? How many of you have seen an eagle in real life? The American Indians are the only people in the United States that are allowed to care for these birds, use their feathers, carry them with us on our beans, use them for our ceremonies, our songs, and our dances. Even the Hopis are allowed in a very sacred and very traditional ceremony to take the chicks and actually raise these eagles from a chicklet all the way to life. Name the bird as a relative or a person in their household and use the feathers from that bird for their ceremonies. This particular feather is a very simple eagle feather. It just simply rides underneath the wing. And when you ever take a look at wings themselves, wings are very much like corn. They're made of hundreds and hundreds of these. But when you ever watch and ever get a chance to watch the aerodynamics of an eagle or other birds in flight, those feathers don't just stand still. They actually move with the wind. And every feather and every part of that bird's wing is constantly moving to adjust to wind currents, lift, draft. This is a small one, just a very small eagle feather. I've been honored in my life and career to carry very many eagle feathers. They even have eagle fans, which are the whole wing in my possessions.